Roll Tide, roll Tide, roll Tide. We've been talking about it on here for weeks. Georgia didn't want to see Alabama. Second national championship. The streak's over. Alabama's SEC champs. They're the best team in the country. They proved it today. This isn't the team that played Texas in game 2. And take your cap off to Georgia. But one hell of a win for the Crimson Tide. Hey, guys, thanks for being here. This is the post-game show. Just kind of trying to take all of this in. We're going to take your calls. That's what we're going to do, and relive this. But roll Tide, everybody. Welcome to the Bama Tailgate post-game show. And let's talk Alabama football. I'm Mick Gillispie. All right, guys, roll Tide. We're going to talk about this one. Chad's at the game, so we'll hear from him. We'll get the calls out, but Bama has just made it. Well, they just made it again. Their 30th SEC championship game. They got off to a little bit of a slow start, and then they come back, and they beat Georgia. And I guess we just have to figure out what's going to happen with Florida State. Because, I mean, obviously that's a big part of this. It's a waiting game now. There's going to be a push for Alabama. Obviously, Texas won today. They beat Alabama in the head-to-head, second game of the season. And Bama just with the biggest win of the year. Jersey Dolphins, we ripped Kirby's head off. We shot down his rubberneck. Roll Tide, baby. Thanks for the super chat, man. This is a tip of the glass to you, Jersey Dolphins. I've been on pins and needles watching that football game. I got to tell you guys, it was pins and needles. But I'll tell you, the best team won. They're a great team too, Georgia. I think that was the national championship game, in my estimation, because that was the two best teams in the country. But there's some undefeated teams out there, and I would love to see Alabama play Michigan. That'd be the matchup I'd love to see. I'd love to see Alabama and Michigan. Let's put this to bed, and then maybe the winner of Texas and whoever else. I guess it would be Texas and Washington. That'd be a great playoff for me. Florida State plays tonight. They've got their third-string quarterback in. They would not have been on the same field with either one of these two teams today. Jalen Milroe, would you guys have ever thought that Jalen Milroe would lead this team to an SEC championship over the two-time defending champs at the beginning of the season? Could you ever have imagined that? And that's what the guy just did. So just unbelievable. The intensity of this football game. Georgia got the ball and went straight down the field on Alabama. And at that point, I'm like, well, maybe we're not going to be able to stop them. But after that first drive, the defense dug their heels in. Georgia's defense was really good, too. Both teams, I thought, had just a bunch of really great football players all over the field. But, at the end of the day, it was just the Alabama with that Burton touchdown at the end of the first half. That was the key play in the game. And then the fumble recovered. The two guys that transferred from Georgia making plays in this game. That's Trez Marshall's fumble recovery, Jermaine Burton's touchdown catch. Isaiah Bond had another big game. I think he's ready to kind of be an elite receiver. So it's just unbelievable. It was just such a fun game to watch. Well played. Both teams didn't make a lot of mistakes. And, and then there you go. It's like, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen? What are the, what's the deal going to be with the committee? Another super chat in. What streak? You're right, Donovan. What streak? There's no streak anymore. The streak is 30 SEC championships for Alabama. The tickets for this game were like $450, $500. You could have got in to see Texas and Oklahoma State for like $50. You could have gone to that Pac-12 championship last night for $30. There's a different intensity level when Alabama and Georgia and these SEC teams play. It's just it's different football. I mean, and really, it's just intense. My phone's blowing up right now. So roll tide to all of you guys. Let's take a look at the numbers. I may have to jump off and try to find the let me see. I'm going to try to find the Florida State game in the studio, too. I know Coach Saban's going to be talking. Phone lines are open as well. Let me put the phone number up there, and maybe while you guys are talking, I can kind of dig and get this other game on in the studio here. I got my buddy Marcus hanging out with me. We're kind of just, celebrating the big win, and roll tide, man. Roll tide to you. Roll tide to everybody. Iceman, great to see you. All right, let's go to the phone lines right now. I guess whoever was on there left already. All right, phone lines are open. Let me start there. Let me put the phone number up. And let's talk about Alabama and Georgia. I thought Milroe, man, I thought he played a great game. He held on to the ball a little bit too long sometimes for my liking. But you know what? He didn't fumble it. He didn't turn it over. He's a big guy. It doesn't look like he's running quite as well as he was. But he's so dangerous. He is so dangerous. And, when he gets out into the open field, he can do a lot of things. But you know what? The other thing is we're finding out that he can also do some stuff with his arm. And to me, that's impressive, too. He's just gotten better and better and better as a passer. And so, all right, let's go back to the phone lines here. And let's talk about this. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Mick, it's Ice, man.
Ice, baby. What'd you think, man? I think we called this one, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more of a deficit on that score, but you know what? Number 4 was a number for us. 4th and 4 with number 4 with the ball in his hand, and he did it.
Man, he sure did.
Man, And you know what? I think Atlanta, Alabama has a really nice ring to it, right?
Yeah. What?
We own Atlanta now.
You're right, man. I mean, like Saban is so good at these games. I mean, this is what he does.
Yeah, and real quick before we forget about talking about Milroe, man, I am just so proud of him. I doubted him. I was worried. That he would probably lose his job, going into week 3. But I never once thought that he wasn't able to be the guy that we needed him to be, and he's our quarterback. And it wasn't a perfect game. I think there's a lot of things that went wrong that could have honestly cost us a game. Seth McLaughlin, man, kept missing major blocks too. And how many low snaps did we see tonight?
Yeah, I know.
But you know what, though? I mean, they won, and I don't think there's a team that can beat this Alabama team now. Georgia was a team that was going to do it, and they didn't. So, roll tide.
Well, look, the thing about it is we talked about this. Like this Alabama team isn't the team that lost, that was playing without the number 1 and number 3 pick in the NFL draft at the beginning of the season. This is a team that has built their players to get better and better as this season's gone on. And as the body of work has kind of, started to unfold, you realize that this is the best team in the country. Are they going to get the opportunity to win the national championship? I hope so, because they're the best team in the country. Last year, it was an absolute farce that TCU lost the game and then they didn't move in the damn polls to keep Alabama out. And Alabama was clearly one of the 4 best teams last year. Guess what? There's not a better win in college football than what you just saw. There's not a better win. You can talk about Texas coming in week 2 and playing Alabama that still hadn't figured out how to get plays on the defense, that had a quarterback that didn't know what he was doing and looked like he was dazed and confused, still figuring it out. And they only won by 10.
2 new coordinators.
2 new coordinators, a different football team. But as this season's gone on, the guy on the sideline for Alabama is the best that's ever done it. He's the best there was. He's the best there is. And he's probably the best they'll ever be, as stealing a line from our friend Bret Hart, the hitman. But this Alabama team just showed everybody. They beat the Georgia Bulldogs. Go back and look at the Georgia Bulldogs and they're all the games that they've won, and they haven't played a close game yet. And when they got on the field with Alabama, Kirby's 1-5. When they got on the field with Alabama, they weren't the bullies anymore. I told all the Georgia fans that have been putting messages on our board all week, we're not scared of you. Nobody's scared of you at Alabama. You guys won one time. You won once. So get ready for the Peach Bowl or wherever they're going to put you. But the best team in the country just beat your guys. And it really, honestly, Iceman, you're right. It should have been more than 3, but that's what we ended up with. And honestly, if it would have been 1, that's fine with me too.
Absolutely. I mean, either way, the Alabama was a winning team, and that's all that matters. And you're right; they win one time, and they got lucky last year. They didn't catch Alabama. I mean, that LSU team was not even going to even threaten Georgia last year. Alabama, well, we would have been the SEC champions.
Oh yeah.
And then that might have actually been the first time we would have seen a two-loss team go into the playoffs. Because if Alabama went to the SEC championship and won, there's no way that they would put the TCU win over them.
No.
And I hope that's going to be the case right now. That we are going to set the record straight from last year. But you know what though? I'm still worried about it because I watched how they dropped Ohio State only to number 6, and that still does not sit right with me because I just don't know what this committee is going to do. We have to be the biggest Louisville fans that we can be tonight. I think they do have a pretty good shot at winning. We'll see. But man, this team has matured so well that I think that there's nobody that can beat them, and I'm so proud of them.
Me too.
Anyways, I'm here at work, so I'm about to have to start getting back to
great to hear
processing
from you, brother.
Vehicles come through the gate.
Yeah. Well, look, roll tide to you, my friend. Thanks for calling in, Ice, and we'll do it again soon. All right, brother.
All right, roll tide, man.
Roll tide, man. Roll tide. All right, that's Iceman. Let's go right back to the phone lines again. I see those chats. Love the super chats. We're going to celebrate tonight, folks. Who's this and where you calling from?
Mick, it's Adam, calling from Georgia.
Adam, I told you, Adam. First off, let me thank you for the super chat, brother. Thank you. And I told you.
Sure.
I told you we were going to kick their ass, and we did.
Let me tell you something, Mick. I live in Milledgeville, Georgia, and for the last 3 months, I have had my students mouthing off about how we were going to lose. We kicked their asses in the trenches on both sides of the ball. We absolutely kicked their asses. And there's no team in the country that can beat us. And if the committee doesn't see that, then I don't know. That would be crazy. I mean, first of all, Saban is the best coach ever, and he's done an amazing job this year. And our O-line and D-line pushed them around, and our coordinators did such a fantastic job. We are the best team in the country, and there's no question about it. And we should be in the national championship because we're going to win it. And I'm just so happy. It's like Christmas has come early because
I told you, brother. I don't
have to deal with these loud doubts anymore.
Oh,
you were right. You were right. I was wrong.
This is what we do, though. Look, for whatever reason, that pasture in Lee County gives us hell. But you know what? The last 2 times we've been down there, we've come out on top. We've gone through the valley of the shadow of death, and we have survived it.
Yep.
And then the next 2 times we've played these unbeatable Georgia teams that want to stomp everybody, that Alabama doesn't even belong on the field. We've heard it all week. How Alabama's this and Alabama's that. I told you they were going to beat them at the line of scrimmage. Their star players weren't so star today. Alabama did a great job of locking down Bowers. Always hurt, right? What about when we lost our guys in the last game that we played? You hear them talking about Mechie and Jamison Williams when we lost those two guys. So I have a lot of respect for McConkey. I got a lot of respect for Bowers. But let me tell you something. It's a game of football. And those guys, they didn't get it done today. You know, and Alabama showed that they went in there and they beat them and they won the championship. They're getting rings. One team's getting a ring for that football game today.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And as far as Georgia goes, let me tell the Georgia fans, if Mechie and Williams hadn't gone down, we would have won the national championship. And we right now are the best team in the country. And if it was up to me, the national championship would be a rematch with Texas. But I'm just so happy. Alabama, we beat them physically, and I just want to say congratulations to Saban, to our team, and thanks to you for a great show, man. Roll Tide. Great night tonight.
Thanks, brother. Great hearing from you. Roll Tide right back at you, Adam. You're going to enjoy life in Georgia. And a lot of you guys that hang out with us in the Peach State are going to love life here soon, too. And we wish them the best if they end up at the Cheez-It Bowl or if they end up in the Peach Bowl, wherever they end up. I think Kirby coaches a good program. Got nothing but respect for the way that they play football. That's the way that you have guys running up and trying to clap and, and cheat and all that kind of stuff. Those guys are tough. They play good football. They're physical. Alabama does the same thing. And it makes a game like this super memorable. And these are back-to-back games where there's been a lot on the line, a lot on the line. And, and it's honestly, it's great. Let's take a look at some of the stats. And again, let me put the phone number up. You guys are welcome to call in too and talk about what you saw in the game today. That first drive by Georgia was super impressive. I mean, they went straight down the field. They were, they were hard to stop. And I thought, we're going to have a tough time with these guys, but what we did was we circled the wagons and then, and kind of changed the momentum of the game. And I thought from that, we came down the field and kicked a field goal. It wasn't a touchdown, but it was a field goal. And I thought, you could feel the momentum switching. Then the touchdown to Burton at the end of the half, I thought was the biggest play in the game besides Trez Marshall's fumble recovery. Those two guys felt great about it just because of the fact that they used to play for Georgia. Dino Vine's talking about that the line, the Bama. This was not the same Bama that we saw last week at the line of scrimmage. And that's you win and lose games at the line of scrimmage. You win and lose games at the line of scrimmage, and Bama won today's game at the line of scrimmage, no doubt about it. And I think that I think that Kirby probably felt like dealing with Alabama after that near loss was probably going to be something that they were going to struggle with. And that's exactly what happened. Thundar, the Barbarian, man, thank you for the $20 super chat, brother. Saban marched through Georgia. Terms of surrender. Georgia must take Lee County into its borders. They've got to take Auburn. I had no problem with that. Then they can play Auburn every year in their rivalry game, right? Very funny, man. Thank you, brother. Let's go back to the phone lines again and talk more about this game. Love you guys. I'm having a great time tonight, and I'm hunkered in for the long haul. Who's this, and where are you coming from?
It's Brett.
Brett Elmore. It's a damn shame what the world's going
It's a damn shame how them Bulldogs will have to ride back to Athens with that tail between their legs. What an ass kicking.
Oh,
hey.
That was.
I'd tell you what, you were talking about. Go ahead.
No, I was just going. You go ahead. I'll jump in.
You were talking about winning the game at the line of scrimmage. And this was this is one of those games where, I was watching, I said, man, we're just whipping their ass at the line of scrimmage. I mean, our offensive line, our defensive line. you know, shaky start to the beginning of the game. When I texted you, I said, man, a little nervous. But, you know, this was the first time this season, I think, that I watched the game and I said, you know what? These guys can win the national championship.
Yes.
These guys, they've proven enough they can win it all. And they say, let all naysayers know. Well, now they know. All the naysayers know. We just beat the number one team in the country. It's going to be a damn shame if they leave us out of the playoffs.
They're not leaving us out. We're getting in.
They can't leave us out.
They can't do it.
No, they can't leave us out. But what about, you know, I really enjoyed, I love the chess matches between Kirby and Nick. And at the end of the first half, how about that chess match of, you know, calling the timeouts, and then Bama bust one, went for it on fourth down, and playing the mind games. And it was like, man, we smoked you right there. And then that's when I thought, we've got this game. We've got this game.
Right. Yeah.
Who was it earlier in the?
I'm with you.
I mean, who was it earlier in the week? Was it Booker McFarland that said that the coaching matchup goes to Kirby?
No, that wasn't Booger. That was Daniel Pollock.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's right. Well, he's a homer.
Yeah, Kirby's the best coach in the country. Listen, dude, I'm an Alabama guy, and I appreciate the homerness, but give me an effing break, dude. Kirby is the apprentice, and until he retires, until you kill the king, Nick Saban is still the king, brother. Sorry, Daniel, David, or whatever your name is. You're wrong again. But I love it. I love it because I love the rat poison. I'm tired, and you guys over there, them dogs just you got your snout in that rat poison, didn't you guys? Right in there. Best ever. Unbeatable. You won a championship last year, Georgia, because you didn't play these guys. And that's the truth.
Right.
That is the truth. We said it last year, and I'll say it again right now. And they don't want Alabama in this college football playoff because if you think that ass kicking was good, let's get Georgia. That's who we beat tonight. Let's get Michigan and all their play calling and their sneakiness and their coach that can't stay on the field because he's always suspended. And let's see what happens. Let's meet in Pasadena. Let's go. Let's see you in Pasadena. And then when you get rolled, bring on Texas, baby. Let's go. I want the rematch.
Yeah.
For it all.
Yeah. 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 No, I agree with you. And, you know, in all honesty, if you're looking for the four best teams in college football, which is what it's supposed to be about, Alabama's got to be in there. I mean, there's going to be some questions. It's going to be a rough 24 hours to get to the selection show. But, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, Georgia really deserves to be in the top four. I think those were the two best teams out of the four in the country.
Yeah. Look, this is the national championship game. The committee that thought Oregon was so damn good that we had to sit around and talk about Oregon. They got so close to beating Washington. So they're just as good. They got their ass kicked last night too. And they should have never been ranked ahead of Alabama or Texas. Never. They should have never. I mean, we could sit there through that. And then we always got to pretend, Brett, that the Big Ten is legit. And then all of a sudden, when crunch time comes, it's the same story. They can't play. It's the same story. When they don't win championships over there. They win in the committee room. They win in the committee room. So now that Oregon and Washington are part of that committee because they're going over to the Big Ten, we've had to sit there and look at this shit for weeks now. Alabama wins every game. They're still number 8. They're still number 8. They're still number 8. They're number 1, okay? Plain and simple. And put the teams in front of them. You think Michigan is the best team in the country? Then put them out there, and let's see what happens to them. You really think Washington's beating Alabama? And I like Michael Penix. I think he's a great player. Put him out there. But you can't have a national championship tournament with 4 teams and leave the SEC out. The SEC is why you guys are all getting paid. No one cares about – let me just say this, Brett, while I'm on a rampage here. No one gives a flying beep about the Pac-12 championship game. That's why tickets were $30. They were $30 freaking dollars. You couldn't even get your foot in the building for $30 today in Georgia. $50? No. They were like $500. The other games, you want to go watch a championship game? Oh, you can get into the ACC game for cool $25. You know, that monster mashup between Michigan and Iowa. Hey, you can slide in there for 50. The reason why you guys are getting paid on the committee is because of the SEC. It's Alabama. It's Georgia. It's Tennessee. It's LSU. As much as I hate to say it, it's Auburn. That's why Texas and Oklahoma are coming over. And they can go and get all the Oregons and Washingtons they want in the Big Ten, and no one's going to give a shit. The money's made on that stage that you just saw. Plain and simple.
Right, and to be honest with you, I mean, I know a lot of it's political on this committee, but let me tell you something. With politics comes money. And do you think the network wants to keep Alabama out of the playoffs?
Well,
Alabama draws money.
There's people on that committee that do, because they don't want to see they don't want to see Michigan go down like we just saw Georgia go down. They don't want to see.
No.
They don't want to see. Look. Let me show you something, Brett. Look. This whole wall over here is the Daniel Moore collection of Saban championship prints. I don't even have room for this year's when they win it. That's why they don't want them on. That's why they don't want Alabama in there. They've seen this before. They beat Clemson, Notre Dame, LSU, Georgia, Ohio State. And they're going to win it this year when they get in this playoff. That's they try to keep them out.
Yeah, and it goes back to the Texas game, and we talked about this earlier in the week. I always hated that game in the preseason because it came so early in the year. If we were to play today, Alabama would probably crush Texas. And congratulations to them for winning the conference. They beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State lost to South Alabama 33-7.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what a trash conference title game. You're not playing anybody. This is the SEC, and we've proven a big point. It's up to the committee, but I just, the South will rise again if they keep us up.
Yeah, right. Brett, got a message on here from Red Balls 101. He says, "Roll Tide, roll." Thanks, Red Balls. Red Balls 101. Oh yeah. Can I say this one? Philip Ivy. He wrote this. Plug your ears if you get offended. Roll motherfucking Tide. I'm just reading off the screen here. Here's another one for you, Brett.
Oh, yeah.
Directed at you. Lots of barking, but no biting. Oh, no, that's at Georgia. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought about that earlier, too. Yeah, there was a big bark, but no bite in this team. But
isn't that what Snoop Dogg's
29
about?
But 29 games in a row is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Kudos to Georgia. They have a class program. Kirby does a great job with
He's
them.
great. Look, man, there's one day when Saban goes, it's going to be his world, but it ain't there yet. And that's back-to-back championships.
Right. But anyway, I enjoyed the ball game. I'm going to watch. It would make life much easier if Florida State tonight gets put out of their misery, and then even if Michigan lost, which I doubt, but
Michigan's playing
still anything can happen.
Basket weaving. They're not losing that game. That's the worst team to play in a championship game in my lifetime. So Michael Cody added that Roll Tide, we waterboarded them, guys. Roll Tide.
Yeah. They
love it.
The man, I love it. Caps off a great day, but like I say, 24 hours from now, I'm sure you'll have a show tomorrow night.
No, we're coming on at 11 tomorrow, I guess. When we're coming on when they announce where this thing's going. So I mean that's the game plan. I didn't want to put that out there quite yet. Well, until we won, but yeah, I mean, because we're gonna have a reaction show. I think it's 11 a.m., but I'll find that out before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I don't know what time it comes on, but anyway, appreciate the time. Roll Tide, and let's enjoy this victory and get ready for tomorrow. Another big day tomorrow with a selection show, and let's see what happens, man. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, brother. Great to hear from my man Brett at WJLX in Jasper, Alabama. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Who's this and where you calling from?
Robert from Mobile.
Robert, did you enjoy that game tonight? Any of those style points that we put on their ass?
Well, you don't need, and I'm hearing a lot of good things coming from a lot of commentators on these pregame shows, especially for the Fox one. All of them, except for Urban Meyer, says Alabama should be in. What about Urban Meyer don't say Alabama should be in? I wonder why that's the case. But all of them, although many of them are saying that Florida State has to blow out Louisville tonight to even have a chance with their third-string quarterback. We'll see how that goes, but all of them are saying Alabama is one of the four best teams. So the momentum is already starting to shift our way, and that's a good sign. Before they were all talking the tune of, everybody was saying that Georgia's going to beat us. Everybody was saying that. And it was getting a little. I mean, it was getting where you couldn't watch the pregame shows.
No,
because he was sick of hearing about how much better Georgia was than us.
Oh,
it's almost to the point where why are we buying this thing up then?
No, I mean,
but okay, yeah, that's why. The old saying goes, that's why you play the game. and Isaiah Bond is turning into.
He is.
I think.
Thank you.
Portions of 31 is doing for Yeah, I think 4th and 31 is doing for Isaiah Bond what 2nd and 26 did for Devontae Smith.
That's it.
I think he's turning into that kind of player.
Oh, he is. He's a guy. 5 catches, 79 yards, big catches today. The 4th down grab. The guy. It feels like we might have the next Smitty.
Oh yeah. Because Burton's falling out too. He's doing his thing. Alabama has the best receiving core, in my opinion, in any team in college football.
They snatch
We have the best core of receivers in college football. And yeah, they step. It's such a shame though. These are the same guys last year. I mean, what difference a year made? Who couldn't get separation for Bryce?
Right.
Who was dropping balls for Bryce?
Couldn't catch. Like Saban said, you're a receiver. That means you received the ball. We didn't do that last year.
Yeah. Yeah. But this year for Milroe, the light is on for them. They're receiving. They're just balling up. Milroe, those last 2 runs when we had to have it, I wanted it all game long, but when we had to have it, Milroe, you got it for us again, buddy. And for all, like you said, who was that Pollock?
Yeah.
was bearing Nick Saban? It reminds me of those Tombstone matches with the Undertaker back in the 90s.
Yeah.
When they were having Undertaker in the casket and about to carry him off, and all of a sudden he gets out of the grave. and kicks the butt of his opponent and puts him in the casket.
You
That's
hear that
what they
dong,
try to
the
do to
dong.
Alabama.
You hear that big dong. Dong, the lights go out. And next thing you know, he's sitting up.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. We thought we
And
killed
next
him.
thing you know, he's sitting up.
Hey, Robert,
you
you know
thought
it's
you
a
killed
horror
him.
movie. Robert, you know it's a horror movie for the people in college football. You know that, right? It is a horror movie. They thought that they had killed Alabama.
Oh, the thing was, you didn't shoot him in the head. Headshot, you got to get the head. The head is still Nick Saban, and you didn't get him.
You didn't get him.
Missed the king. So therefore, like you said, you gave him life. So now it's off to the races. Alabama is going to beat everybody in the college football playoff. If they play Texas, it's revenge on the Brain. Michigan could turn into another us against a Georgia Alabama matchup for a while before Alabama starts to pull away. But the Georgians hadn't seen anything like Alabama's defense.
No,
I can remember that at one game saying, I forgot which game it was, but after the game he's talking to the reporter and said, "Oh, my line did great. My uniform didn't even get dirty." Yeah, really, dude. Well, let's see when you play Alabama that uniform gets dirty.
right.
The only reason why it's not dirty now because it's artificial turf.
Yeah, man, what a great win.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of these commentators are singing a different tune now. They really didn't expect Alabama to win, but now they're singing a different tune. I'm hearing a lot of different tunes come out of them, and they're willing to finally say Alabama's one of the 4 best teams. I thought I was a bit afraid that Oregon didn't lose and Oregon didn't win.
Right.
So I thought maybe we could jump Oregon, but now it's going to be a good thing Oregon didn't win. And with Florida State's backup, so third string quarterback, what is the backup out for the season, or he's just out for a while for this game? For Florida State,
I think it was a head injury. I think he's just out for this game. But
okay.
Robert, man, what a great night. I got Saban's queued up. You ready to hear from the coach?
Oh, yeah. I'll listen on live. But, yeah, he's right. It's a great night. And I saw him on the post-game show. And Muriel, of course, was crying. I mean, this has been that kind of season. This has turned into a dream season. And I'm just ready to keep on rolling. That committee, I don't care what Florida State does, you cannot keep the SEC out. No. I mean, just Alabama's really made it impossible.
Nope. I don't think they're going to keep him out. I don't think they're going to keep him out. I think we're in. I think that's the biggest win all season. That team won 29 straight games. Yeah. We just ended the longest winning streak in the history of SEC football. Period.
And maybe someone else can check on this, but I don't think Alabama's ever played 5 top 25 teams that end up in the top 25 in Nick Saban's era. They played 5 teams that have ended in the top 25 at the end of the season, and only lost with one, all but one.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think. I mean, the Alabama's resume is better than anybody's. Anybody.
Yeah. What a win tonight. What a season.
All right, man.
Robert.
I'll catch you later.
Thanks, dude. Roll Tide, brother. Call and we'll do it again soon, all right? Robert from Mobile, right there, one of the great callers we have on the show. All right, let's if you're on hold, I'm going to get to you as soon as Nick finishes up. He's about to pop on, and we'll listen to him. He's going to talk about what happened in this football game, and then we're going to come back on, take more calls, talk more about this. I'm going to try to get some people to jump on with me, and we'll do what we do, man. I mean, just basically talk about this football game and what the significance of this game is. Like Robert said, Alabama's one of the 4 best teams. No ifs, ands, or buts about it anymore. You do your talking out on the field, and Alabama controlled the football game. They took the lead and they never looked back. And another one of these games where you watch them dominate at the line of scrimmage. And I mean that this to me is one of Nick Saban's most significant wins, one of his most significant seasons. this is a team that, I mean, you talk about being proud of a team, the way that these guys have played this year. This is really exciting. And, and obviously an opportunity for this team now to sit back and wait and see if, if they're going to get the opportunity to play for a national championship. But I tend to think that it's going to happen. I think it happens. I think that they deserve it. I think it happens, and I don't think anybody's going to beat them. I want to see Alabama matched up against Michigan. I want to see what happens there. I think you guys do as well. I'd love a rematch against Georgia. So, I mean, just so many different things happened this season. JL, man, thank you, dude. I look for you guys to start this new channel, and I wonder, like, are you guys going to find me? They either bring you back or you start your own thing. And so we started our own thing. And for those of you that are hanging out right now and you're not part of what we're doing here, be part of it. This is the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. We put out content every single day, just like I did on the other channels I've been on. And we roll tide, man. So, Jay, thank you for being here. And we'll gladly, continue this thing. I'm waiting. Obviously, you see that it's coming up right now. That looks like one of those old TV sets somewhere inside the dome where the ball coach is going to jump on, and I'm going to refill my beer. Just still amazing. I mean, see if this thing, how close we are to getting him on. Not sure what the holdup is. There he is.
That's what you do.
It's going to be exciting. I know he's got to be happy. All right, there he is. I see him. You ready? Let's pop him on and let's listen to what the guy has to say. Pop it back on. I don't know what's going on with the audio. We're going to try to get this thing fixed for you. And it might be that just may be the audio we're getting from them.
Which is,
there we go.
In my opinion, really, really significant. It means a lot to me. This is a tough conference. I mean, we got like 5 teams that are ranked in the top 15, and we got to play each other. And I think we played 4 out of the 5. So I know you're going to ask me, so I might as well just get to it. Because, having anticipation is something that's important to being a good coach. Not that I think I'm a good coach. But the message that I would send is we won the SEC. We beat the number 1 team in the country, which everybody thought on the committee was the number 1 team in the country. And they won 29 straight games. So if we needed to do something to pass the eye test, I guess that probably contributed to it significantly. And if you really want the 4 best teams to compete, the 4 most deserving teams that have progressed throughout the season. We're not the same team we were when we played Texas. We're not the same team that when we played South Florida. So I don't think we should be considered as that team right now. And I think people should look at the whole body of work in terms of what the team was able to accomplish and what they were able to do. And I think this team is one of the 4 best teams and one of the teams that's deserving to be in the playoff.
All right, we'll take questions. If you would, again, raise your hand. Second row. Second row.
Mick, you obviously made your case for the playoff. What would your response be if the committee disagrees?
I've disagreed with them before. I disagreed last year. So I respect them. I know they have a tough job. I know there's a lot of good teams. But I'm just speaking up for our guys on our team who have busted their butt all year long to accomplish what they've accomplished. And I think that needs to be recognized.
Right here. For Jalen, coach has been very complimentary of your season and your progression. What can you say about his coaching job? People are saying one of the best years he's had as a coach.
The biggest thing as players that we can do best is be coachable. Coach Saban, the biggest thing I want to do is be a sponge for all information, because at the end of the day, all of our coaches are pushing us to be successful. And to speak about our coaching staff, man, they push us every single day, and we set short-term goals and long-term goals before the season even started. And the biggest thing we had to do as players, be coachable, be receptive to all coaching, and just try and find new ways to improve and get 1% better each and every day.
I think our coaches did a fantastic job with these players. Fantastic job of helping guys develop and improve. And I really appreciate our staff of people who contributed to the success of this team. It's not about me. It's about everybody on the team who contributed to the success of this team, players and coaches alike.
Back here in the middle.
Jalen, you guys get the ball back. They had just cut it to 20-17. All the momentum was on Georgia's side. Place is going nuts. What's going through your mind? How do you stay calm in that moment to engineer that drive to score again?
Singular focus. That's the biggest motto that we had going into the game. It's all about singular focus and doing our job. It's all about response, And the biggest thing that we have on this team that contributes to any success is the family acronym, forget about me, I love you. And I think we do a really good job with that. And it was all about singular focus each and every drive.
Back here.
For Dallas, what has it meant for you to have Coach Steele as a defensive coordinator? I know you mentioned him back in the summer, but what has he brought to this team from start to finish, having Coach Steele in here?
Just the main thing that Coach Steele has, instilled in this is just holding us accountable every day in practice, having the right practice habits, and, just going about practice how you play. So, everything that we do before the games and everything, it's just all a display of what we do in practice. So, you just practice how you play.
Question for Coach Saban. When Georgia played Georgia Tech last week, Tech got a couple of touchdowns on a fake toss with the quarterback cutting it up the middle, just like the play Jalen ran at the end to kill the clock. Anything from that game, scouting-wise, leads you to believe that play would be successful?
Well, I can't say that it exactly came from that game, but, we watch almost every game a team plays the whole season, and you're always looking for things that people had success against them, things that created issues for them. So, and that's something that I think our offensive staff did a really good job of, to have some of those plays in the bag when we needed to take the air out of it at the end of the game and not give them the ball back.
It's right here.
Nick, a year from now, the likes of Georgia and Alabama and even Texas will be playing for seeding probably in this type of game, maybe even for a bye. Can this moment ever be like this where it's so intense, so much on the line? I know the SEC championship's important, but we're kind of at the end of an era tonight.
Yeah, well, I've been through a few of these eras where we didn't have a national championship game, where 2 teams played. Now 4 teams been playing. Now 12 teams are going to play. So, but when we have 12 teams, you all still make a case for 12 more. So that's kind of your job. So, just like the basketball tournament. How many teams they put in? 68, and then you have a 2-hour show on who else should have got in, or who got in that shouldn't have. That's always going to be. That's part of it. That's what you do. to create interest, which I appreciate. Yeah. But there's one other thing I want to mention I appreciate. We had 2 hellacious drives in this game, all right, that this guy contributed to, and some receivers made some great catches too. Right before the half, scoring right before the half. And when they got 20-17, which you've already mentioned, that was a great drive. And a necessary drive, no doubt, but a great drive. A lot of plays made in those 2 drives.
Back here in the aisle.
Coach Saban, what can you tell us about the status of Kool-Aid, and also just please assess the play of the secondary today?
Other than the one big play that we gave up, we didn't play well early. You know, the first drive, we were sort of out of sorts. We settled down and played pretty well. We gave up the one big play over on their sidelines, which led to a field goal. And then we got really bad field position on the punt return. It wasn't a very good punt. Guy did a good job. They put 2 returners back so they could get the ball fielded, and they hit us. So I thought they did a pretty good job. I think Georgia's got a really good quarterback and really skilled guys, and I thought they did a pretty good job of limiting their big plays. Kool-Aid has a concussion. So he goes in concussion protocol. We'll figure out how bad it is, how long it takes, when we clear. I mean, all the testing mechanisms that we have right now, I think are really beneficial to players not getting multiple concussions. So hopefully our medical staff has always done a really good job of protecting the players when these things occur.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago, you said this team had been taking years off of your life. The last couple of weeks, have they done anything to help you find the fountain of youth, especially with tonight's win?
You know how tired I am right now? I mean, I'm happy as hell we won. My speech in the locker room after the game was one word: celebrate. And I had just enough left in me to do the dance. Just enough.
Jalen, this team has been talked about today, has improved so much as a season. I know you guys felt like people would kick you to the curb. Now that you've completed the regular season and won the SEC title, do you still feel like that some of that doubt's out there?
The biggest thing about this team is we know there's unfinished business. All we want to do is improve and get 1% better each and every day. But we do have to acknowledge the journey we've been on. And I can do only be just complimentary of the guys in the locker room, because at the end of the day, when people doubted us, we continue to work hard. We just trust in the coaching staff that continues to push us each and every day. We have a good leader like Dallas right here next to me that pushes our offense as we compete on the practice field. So there's a lot of elements that allows our team to keep on pushing towards the final step. But we're nowhere near the finish line. We're constantly trying to get better.
Coach, and for Jalen, Isaiah Bond had 4 of his 5 catches on that last touchdown drive. Just talk about the way that he's been so clutch this entire year, specifically against Auburn, and of course tonight.
Go ahead, Jay.
Well, it contributes to practice habits. When you practice well at practice, we implement different things that you can do in the game. So I think that's the biggest thing that correlates to the game is how well he practices. He plays with a lot of speed, and then also he does well with the game plan. So Coach Reese just game plans very well with IB, and he continues to just work hard. So he's a great resource for our offense to keep us going.
He's been great all year, and I think the one word that I would say is he's very consistent in practice as well as the game. If you're a quarterback, you want to be able to trust your guys that they're going to go run the right route at the right depth at the right time and show up in the right place. And I think he does a great job of that, and he's got great speed. So, that's always helpful.
For Dallas and Jalen, what would be your message to the committee about why you deserve to be in the playoff, or do you kind of let what you did on the field do the talking?
I mean, honestly, I don't really like to talk too much. So, I just like to perform on the field. And, we had a very good game tonight, very big win. But, we just let our plan do the talking for ourselves. So,
no, I got something to say. Georgia number 1, right? You beat the number 1 team. What do you consider us? what does that consider us? But at the end of the day, that's out of our reach. But the biggest thing we got to do is trust the process, keep getting better. But we beat the best team in the nation considerably. So, what do y'all consider us?
Link. Coach Saban, two questions, if I could. Can we see the dance, one? And two, the play of Trey Amos and the opportunity that he had.
Yeah, well, he's been playing for us all year. Trey's been playing in dime all year long, and we consider him a starter. When we move Terry on to start and play him on third down, and he's done a really good job, and he did a really good job tonight. So he's been playing for us all year, but we have a lot of confidence in him, and he did a really good job tonight. So, and I can't remember two questions at a time. Oh, no. It's bad.
On the aisle, second row.
It's bad. I mean, ask them. It's bad.
We sat in here 2 years ago and he talked about yummy rat poison. Just how does it taste this year? And also, has there been a value to kind of letting those external factors get into the team? And you talk about naysayers and doubt, and it seems to have motivated them.
Well, I think that's an interesting point that you bring up, because one of the motivating factors for this team all year long is they wanted to prove who they were because of the criticism that they got. All right, now this validates winning the SEC, beating Georgia, beating the number one team, kind of validates who they are. So then the next challenge is how do you deal with success? How do you deal with success? And that'll be the next challenge for this team, because I think I agree with Jalen that we should acknowledge the fact and celebrate the fact that we won the SEC championship. That's significant. And but now if we have an opportunity to do something else, what's going to be our internal motivation to want to continue to be successful?
Coach, you discussed the value of the tight end and that matchup. What did you do today to minimize number 19, Brock Bowers of Georgia?
Well, after the first drive, we played almost all split safeties. And the one McConkey caught to the 1 yard line, we were in middle of field coverage. Middle of field coverage didn't do us much good today. That's what we played like in that first drive. So we played split safeties the whole time. Now, when you do that, you get more guys, somebody under them, somebody over them, somebody banging on them, and you're not covering them one-on-one. But to do that, you got to be able to stop the run. And our guys did a really good job with all that split safety stuff of stopping the run today so we could play it, because we went into the game thinking we couldn't play it. But after the first drive, I said, can't get any worse. Let's just start playing it, because that was the plan. That was the plan that we wanted to take them away, and the guys did a good job of executing it.
One last question from anyone? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Back there.
Hi, Coach. Could you speak a little bit about the progression of Emmanuel Henderson as a player over this year?
Emmanuel has really developed nicely as a receiver. He's got great speed. He really didn't play that position in high school, so sometimes it takes those guys a little longer to develop, the confidence, the skill set. But he has done a phenomenal job. He's been a good special teams player for us. He got hurt early in the season, so he missed some time, or he'd have been a much more significant, would have made a much more significant impact, I think, this year. But he's been very valuable for us all year long.
Coach and players, congratulations. Thank you for attending, and appreciate everybody being here.
Appreciate what you all do. You create a lot of interest. I know sometimes I get criticized for being a guy that doesn't like the press, but I really do like you. I like what you do. And you do a lot to give our players a lot of positive self-gratification, and you also create a lot of interest in our game. And I think that's important. So thank you for that.
All right, there he is, Coach Nick Saban, his press conference, and that with Jalen Milroe, up on stage. Let's go right back to the phone lines again. And let's bring him on. Clint has been hanging through the press conference. Clint from Birmingham. What's up, dude? Roll Tide. Clint, you there? And I hope I didn't lose you after all that.
I'm here. I'm
There
here,
you
I'm
are.
here, man.
There you are. There you are. Roll Tide, brother. What'd you think of that?
Well, I had you on mute, man. You just missed my whole Roll Tide speech.
We'll go. Give it to us one more time. Give.
Roll Tide!
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Man, what about that win? I hate Georgia, bro. I hate them.
They had it coming. They had it coming, didn't they?
No, listen, Mick, I hate Georgia. I hate them. I pull for Auburn before I pull for Georgia.
Whoa.
Roll Tide!
Roll Tide, man.
Now, since that's over, let's talk sensibly. That was a good win, man. That was a good win. We had a great game. We did. We played good on defense. I didn't think we could stop them. When going into the game, I didn't think we could stop them, but we did.
I know. When they went down the field on that first drive, I was like, okay, oh shit. And then after that, man, we just kind of,
yeah, I thought it was over.
We just, you know what? We made some adjustments, and we don't have what's the guy's name? Pete Golding. We don't have Pete Golding running our defense anymore. You know what I mean by that?
No, I think now we
know what I
can
mean by
see
that?
that was a Saban experience, a Saban experiment that didn't work. I know he loved him. I know he just couldn't call defense, man. And love the guy, but can't call defense. And that's you can see that at Ole Miss now. He cannot call defense.
Close but no cigar. What was the thing that stood out to you the most in this game?
The thing that stood out most to me was in the third quarter. Alabama had, I think, when I saw it on CBS, we had 9 yards, and Georgia had over 100, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they were taking the momentum. They had it. They were gonna go win the game. And all the love to Kirby Smart. Nick Saban pressed the gas.
Mm-hmm.
And we took momentum back. And that's what Nick Saban does. That's what Nick Saban teams do. Good ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Nick Saban teams do. We go get the momentum back, and we did it. That is a championship team. And remember when I called you earlier in the season, I'm like, look, if that offensive line gels, we're going to be tough to beat. They did it. They beat the number one. Were they ranked number one? I don't know. 1, 2.
Well, they were ranked one
But
in
we went
every
out there
single
and
poll.
took it.
There wasn't a number two. It was them.
We went out there and they took those jewels and ripped them down and ripped it in that fist and said, no, you ain't number one. We are.
Clint,
Now,
the
if
shame of it is that
you know,
we Alabama beats them last year if they'd have played them. You know, they had the 1 4th quarter, and I'll take my hat off to them. They beat Alabama in the national championship game in the 4th quarter. Jamison Williams went out, and Alabama just had no one to throw the football to. No one could catch. Since that point, Georgia hasn't had to play
if
Alabama.
Brooks had caught that, Mick, if Brooks had caught that pass in that game on the 2-yard line that he dropped, we'd have won that game.
That's right.
The play.
Yep.
Young threw it to him. He dropped it. We would have won that game.
I agree with you.
So that's one play. And you know what? We had a couple of games, a couple of plays in this game where we could have dropped the ball. And we dropped a couple of passes in this play. We had 4 interceptions dropped in this game.
Yeah, I know.
If we'd have caught 2 of those, blowout. So, look, I don't want to hear anything. Alabama is one of the top 4 teams. If they leave Alabama out, then it's up.
Yeah, I don't think
It's a
they can.
travesty.
I don't
What
think
do
they
you,
can.
What do you say?
Well, I don't think
you cannot leave Alabama out. I mean, look, Florida State's not going. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's just what it's going to be. You cannot leave Alabama
Well,
out.
they're
of there.
having trouble right now with their 3rd-string quarterback. We'll see if Louisville can just go ahead and beat them.
Well,
and then Alabama.
Is it on? I haven't.
Yeah, it's on right now. Get Alabama and Texas both in, and then that's that. That's that.
Well, Alabama today is the number 1 team in America. Now, everybody, look, we've all seen this for 30 years. You go to Auburn, you're going to have a tough time. And that's just the way it is in Auburn. I think I heard years ago somebody called it an Indian burial ground. That's just what it is. You go down there, you're going to have a tough time.
It's like Pet Cemetery.
So, or at least Alabama is.
It's like Pet Cemetery. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
You bury your pet and it comes back mean.
So you're going to win by a couple of points. You're going to have to come back in the 4th quarter to win at Auburn. That's the way it has been every year. I think 2011, or was it? Let's see. There was one year where we kind of blew them out. I think it was 2011. The rest of the years since Saban has been there, it has been a close game. So that doesn't matter.
Right.
Alabama is the best team in the country today. They can beat anybody in the country. That's bottom line.
I'm with you, man. I'm looking at we got some Georgia fan on here that's Sean's Alabama inbreds and all this stuff. Look, Sean, man, you guys lost. Just be glad you didn't have to lose to Alabama last year. Just like you did in 2021, just like you did tonight. Just be glad that last year the committee left Alabama out so you guys could have your run.
Yeah.
You guys have beaten Alabama once since, what was it, 2004? Like 15 years, 1 in 15 years. Big bad Georgia. Just be glad. I mean, I think you, as a Georgia fan and someone that is so much smarter and I'm better than us, you should just appreciate the fact that you didn't have to see us last year, so you didn't have to get all upset and name call on here. Just be glad.
Hey, Mick, that is why.
Be glad you played TCU and you didn't see Alabama
Auburn
beat that
over
ass.
Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he should be just thanking. Like, put on your back-to-back gear and feel good that you didn't get what you got last time in 2021. This is what you got last time, and you got it again this time. And then they're good football teams. You guys are a good team. You're a good team. Keep trying, guys. Keep on hustling. You'll get back. I do mean that. But this isn't your year.
But look, we don't. Hey, Mick, listen. Here's another thing. Here's another thing. Alabama makes coaches, unless we mess it up, which we've done. We've done that. But Alabama makes coaches just as much as coaches make Alabama. It works together.
Well, Nick's
that doesn't work together anywhere else.
Well, look, Clint, Nick.
We don't know how long
Nick makes
Kirby's going to be at Georgia.
He could be there forever, and he's going to win more. I mean, I'm not taking anything away. I have a lot of respect for Kirby and the program that they have.
Too. I really do.
And I like the way they play the game.
I absolutely do.
It's not that shit that
I
you
don't
see
mean
down in
any
Auburn. No
disrespect
one's
to
running to the
Kirby.
line of scrimmage and clapping because Seth McLaughlin will mess up a snap without that. He'll just give him time. We've seen it all year. So you don't even need to pull that. But Kirby does it the right way. And you know what I love about him? So he got that job at Georgia and he put it on hold and he helped us win the national championship and he's gone over there. And if it's not Alabama, I want an SEC team to win. So, maybe that's
I agree.
Hey, Clint, maybe that's my inbred opinion. But my other inbred opinion is Georgia, be glad that you didn't have to lose to Alabama last year. Be glad that when the committee got together, those nerds were like, we're gonna leave TCU in there. So you played a little league team in the championship game. But when you step on the field with the big boys, this is what the possibility of the big boys game is. Whether you're Auburn and you're out there making your selfies, you're ready to rush the field, and you lose, or you just get your ass kicked like tonight at the line of scrimmage from the beginning of the game after you scored your touchdown the rest of the way. When you beat Alabama, you got to play
Nick,
your best.
Is that not the best part of this game?
Loved it.
Is that not the best part of this game? We kicked their ass at the line of scrimmage.
At the line of scrimmage. Their little pitch plays,
Wow.
the little pitch plays they do. I loved it when I saw those guys from the secondary come swooping in there. Moore and Downs and Arnold sweep those guys off their feet. Coach said Kool-Aid had a concussion. He's going to be back. He made some good plays in this game too. Watching Dallas Turner bull rush their offensive line. Watch their all league, probably the best tight end in the history of the SEC. When they went for the screen pass, they tried to set him up a few times, and he got beat down. It was great. I loved it.
Oh well, it just shows our defense is legit. It is legit. And let me just say one other thing.
Saving
We
paid off the refs. That's why we won. Go to the Georgia message board and get over there and cry with the rest of those guys. Alabama didn't win because of officiating. Sean, let me tell you this though, Sean. Alabama won because you got beat at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. The inbreds came in there, as you called us, and they basically took your line and they pushed them back into your quarterback. They stopped your run. You're all pro tight end that's leaving college, got shut down. We didn't see a whole lot of McConkey, made a couple plays, and your defense wasn't up to the challenge today. And when you guys play in that Cheez-It Bowl, we'll be pulling for you. We want you to win the Cheez-It Bowl, Georgia. We do.
All right, so let me say this. Look, hey, you got Kirby, you got a couple of nags. Right. Take it. You got them.
Yeah.
But you ain't Alabama. You're not Alabama. You'll never be Alabama.
Mm-mm. You know what today was?
Enough said.
Clint, you know what today was, and I got to go to the phones and get another call here. But today was, Clint, this was our 30th Alabama SEC championship. This was number 30. This was the 15th that I think it's the 10th or the 11th. The 11th SEC championship game we've won. We're 11-4. in the SEC championship game. The only team that ever beat us was Florida, not Georgia, in the SEC championship game. And Alabama hasn't lost in this game since 2008. And Georgia's had their chances. I mean, it's either the fourth or the fifth time that Alabama's beaten Georgia in this game. But they've all been good games. Like I got to tell you, except the 2021 one wasn't that good of a game. Georgia didn't really show up, but the other ones were really good. Today was a good game. So, all right, final thoughts, brother, and it is great to hear your voice.
Yeah, man, and Mick, I'm planning on seeing you down there next week.
Come on, man.
You know
Come
that,
on.
right?
Come on down. We're going to be at the we're going to be celebrating still at the Floor Bama. You know that.
Yeah, we're going to be down there, and it's going to be a fun weekend, and we're going to get ready for the Natty.
Yeah, let's get ready for it. Tomorrow's going to be a great day.
Because there's no way.
Tomorrow's going to be that day when we're in.
We're in, man.
We're in.
Have a good one, buddy.
All right, brother. See you, man. Roll Tide. All right, let's go back to the phone lines again. Who's this and where are you calling from?
What's up, Nick? This is Mike from Cali.
What's up, man? How you doing? Roll Tide.
Man, Roll Tide. Long time no speak, man. Just looking at this game, I heard you ask.
It is great to hear your voice, man. Thank you for calling into my show.
Oh man, I appreciate you too. You asked the previous caller what stood out to the in this game. You was talking about it a second ago. Them guards from the second quarter on, or from our third drive on, our guards completely changed the game, hands down. Like, if the committee sits here and gives Alabama problems with this playoff, I probably am done with college football. If they don't go back to the second half of the Ole Miss games, the Tennessee games, the comeback against the Auburn with the phantom clap and the referees not calling, all the way to going to the state of Georgia, which is really a home game for the Bulldogs.
It is.
In taking down the number one team in the nation. There's not a team in college football that has done what we've done. And to lose to Texas, a good team, before we even knew what type of quarterback we had, before we even started gelling as a team in week 2, for them to keep Texas ranked as high as they are ahead of Bama for beating Bama, to not give us the same respect to go into Georgia and beat the number one team in the nation when we absolutely had to do it. It would be a completely different thing if we were in the second or third week of the season and we beat Georgia. That'd be a different thing, something akin to the Texas loss. But we absolutely had to beat Georgia today in order to even get a sniff of the playoffs. And what do? We went and shut down a 29-win streak. That's something that you got to give them young boys respect.
Oh yeah.
I just had to get on and chime in and let you know, man. Keep doing what y'all doing, man, and keep pushing us, man, because they're going to keep hating and we're going to keep on stepping.
Hey, Mike's like I said to them, man. I'm happy for them that the committee kept Alabama out and forced TCU in there last year, even though they lost. Let them stay right there, didn't move them out, so that they didn't have to feel this last year. And I see the Georgia fans in the comment. There's a couple Auburn fans in there, and they're together right now in their misery. And I respect that. You guys get together. You guys get together and talk about what could have been. Auburn, you talk about what could have been in that Iron Bowl before you got stunned, before you got Bruce Lee at the end of the game. And then Georgia, talk about that 29-game streak when last year you didn't have to play the kings of the conference. You didn't have to play them, and you can thank the officials at the Tennessee game for that, and you can thank the playoff committee. But this year you did. This year, when you had that conference schedule where you didn't play anybody, And that's going to change next year. You're not going to be able to hide behind that bad schedule anymore. We're all playing tough schedules next year. But
yeah, I was going to say everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you early. Hey, we'll put this on you early so you don't even have to worry about being undefeated. We'll get you next year early so you guys don't even have to feel the pressure of a winning streak.
Man, hey, y'all keep doing your thing. Roll Tide. I'm going to go ahead and get off this line and let the next caller do his thing.
Thanks, Mike. Roll Tide, man.
All right. Stay blessed. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, man. Mike out in Cali. And talking to you guys right now. I'm still just we haven't even started crunching the numbers yet, but I'm going to leave the phone line up. And if you guys want to call in and look, Auburn and Georgia fans, you are welcome to get on here. I see a hook 'em horns. I'm fine with that. Let's just be nice to each other in a spirited way. Calling us inbreds, that's close to being over the line, but I'm not going to kick you out because I know how hurt you are right now. Yeah, right. Like I know how hurt. You know what I'm saying, Marcus? They're hurt right now. Yeah, like what happens is in life sometimes you start to believe your bullshit. You know what I mean? Like you're like, hey man, we're you know what? We're really that good. Yeah, we're really that good. Well, we could have beat Alabama. We'd have beat them if they were on our schedule. We'd have won. We'd have beat them. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, you didn't play them. You didn't play them, and you played the worst team. You're like Michigan playing Iowa tonight. Like you played TCU and you killed them, but you didn't play Bama. And if you want to beat a king, you got to beat the king, and that's what Georgia did in 2021. They came back after Alabama put the annual ass whooping on them like they got tonight. They got that second chance, and they squeezed one out. And I remember their quarterback was drinking Pappy out of the bottle. I wish I had a little Pappy to drink out of the bottle right now. Yeah, I mean, it's like that's like a $1,500 or more whiskey. Like right out of the bottle. They were celebrating. They won the championship, and it was their first one since the 80s with Herschel Walker. Oh, I love this. Nicole. Man, Nicole. Fuck This Show is a showcase as to why everybody hates Bama's idiot fan base. Nicole. Again, Nicole, I know it hurts right now, but lose with dignity. Go back and watch my show and the idiot fan base show when Georgia beat Alabama in 2021. It was a lot of respect. We talked about the things that could have gone our way that didn't, and what the future looked like, and congratulated Georgia and Kirby for finally getting that win over Nick Saban. Finally getting that win. And then last year you got like I said, you sidestepped the Tide. You won a championship that a lot of us question because you left the best team. They left the best team out. And that's just the way it goes because, had the 2 walk-off losses, but you couldn't run tonight. You guys couldn't run tonight. In your home state, not far from your home campus. And you had it coming. Just put it like that. So thank you for the great message on here, and roll tide to you wherever you're at tonight. There's my man right here, David Sprinkle. Roll Tide. I saw him at the Floor Bam on Friday. David came down to watch our guy, Big Earl. Oh, and I love these right here. These are called super chats. And Resin, I'm gonna tip my glass to you for this $10. And I'm gonna read this out loud for Nicole. So probably having a tough time figuring out what those symbols mean. Bama is still the dynasty, not Georgia, not Kirby. Roll Tide. Bama still the undisputed king. Even if we don't get into the playoffs, don't talk like that. We're getting in. We're getting in. We are getting in. Dolomite says, Still got respect for the Bulldog fans. Nothing personal. Just had to put you in your place. That's how I feel too, man. I mean, we don't. We had to teach the Bulldogs to behave, as our fight song so famously says. All right, let's go back to the phone lines again and talk more about this game. Who's this and where you calling from?
It's Heath.
Meathead.
From
Meathead.
Nashville. What's up?
What's up,
Formerly
Meat?
known as Meathead.
Meat.
Oh,
Meat.
man.
Did you enjoy that one, Meat?
Oh, man. Enjoy is an understatement. Honestly, I just felt like it was going to happen. I mean, I know everybody says that when they're done, but after that Auburn game, the football gods have been smiling on the University of Alabama and all the players and the fans and everything that we've all witnessed the last 15 years with 16 or whatever, however long it is now. I never thought I would ever say there's a better coach than Coach Paul Bear Bryant.
Right.
But that all has been passed, and my mom was over here, so had some chili and had everything. Is kind of giving a little history lesson to some people, and just really grateful, honestly, to be a graduate, a lifelong fan, and a native Alabamian. To see what Coach Saban continues to do with these kids, man. Incredible.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm with you. There's a famous song called "The Stars Fell on Alabama." Great song.
Oh, yeah.
There's another song,
It is.
"My Heart's in Alabama." Another
Oh, we got a
song
ton of songs.
called "Sweet Home Alabama."
Oh,
And
yeah.
honestly, they all sound good right now. Oh, and there's another song called "Deacon Blues." Little Alabama Crimson
Yeah,
Tide
yeah.
drop in
Little-
there. Oh, they're all
Little
great
Steely
right
Dan,
now.
baby.
Little Steely Dan, yeah. All
Yeah,
great.
man.
Meat, I'm tipping you right now, man. This glass to you. All right, what'd you think about
Got
let's-
one. I'm raising.
What's that? You raised one
I'm
to
raising
me?
I'm raising the good people IPA to you right now,
Okay,
brother.
I've
Watching,
got a Sun
I've
Lab.
got the split screen going on the big screen, and I got the third TV or the second TV down here watching a little UFC. So we're doing good.
Well, let's see. I got to tell you this, man. I hate to tell you this because I know it's going to hurt, but there's some Auburn fans and some Georgia fans that have been on the message board, and they're pretty upset right now. They've said some very hurtful things.
You know,
They've as
I'm
Marcus
sure
said, they've expressed their concerns.
Hey, you know what? There's not many tears that taste better than booger tears and liberal tears and Georgia tears. Those are my three favorite tears. So I just like mixing them up all in a shot glass and just shooting them down and chasing it with a nice IPA and a bottled in bond bourbon, preferably. I don't know. I've been on the Old Forester bottled in bond lately.
Have you? That's
So
good
they can
stuff.
all suck a big fat donkey dick, as far as I'm concerned. They all wish that they could be what people think it's just Coach Saban. There's three other statues down there, starting with Mr. Wallace Wade, Coach Wallace Wade, Coach Frank Thomas, and then Coach Gene Stallings. Okay, and there needs to be a statue of Miss Terry Saban down there too.
I know Terry's great.
Somebody needs to make that happen.
Yeah.
But it's just, and we you and I were there, bro, when it was all 6 in a row.
Oh, I know.
The Bugs were riding high. I mean, we've seen it all, man, and you've seen it all. I mean, the show, you're a Jake show, by the way, and I haven't said enough online about this. I need to give you guys
Please
more
do,
props
man.
and all,
Please do.
and I like it. But you and Jake, man, are really starting to come into your own, and you have been, honestly. Every show's great, and you're a professional, and he's never done this really much before, as far as I know, and he's really growing. And you guys are both just phenomenal, man. And his insight and your insight and history with Alabama, I don't know, man. It's a great show.
Let me say
It's a
this.
must watch.
And
I like.
Well, I just want to tell
No, go
everybody
ahead.
what you're talking about on Roll Tide Pods, which is another YouTube channel. My buddies Lance Taylor and Ryan Brown and Jim Dunaway have put together Jake Coker and me, and we do a podcast, and it's an adult podcast. I mean, I'm going to tell you that right now. It's we're supposed to be
should have
like
been cursing.
no, I curse too, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but it's because I just want it to be like a real conversation. I want to feel like when we're together, and I think Jake wanted this too, where we're not just, we're not just a bunch of suits talking football. That's not what we want to do on our show, and thankfully, we haven't gotten any direction at all, so it's not like anybody's like said, hey, we want you guys to do this or that. It's just been like, hey, we really like the show. And I think that kind of what's been really fun about working with Disrupt the Media, the fact that they're kind of just letting us kind of take it where it goes. But you're right. Like Jake Coker is, he's smart. He's hilarious, which he makes me laugh a lot on the show. And he's insightful, man.
And you got it. Your laugh is phenomenal. And your laugh is phenomenal, man. And that's one of the things I've always loved about you too, man. You're going to laugh and have fun no matter what, man. It's like everything else.
Thanks, bro.
Life's too short to get caught up in all the BS and worry about how you project and all this other. Look, just be yourself. And that's the beauty of this new media market that we're in now, and how the evolution of media and how people consume media is like, if you don't like it, then fine, move on. There's plenty of other outlets. If you want to go traditional and get everything from traditional media outlets like ABC, Fox, ESPN, that's fine. That's still going to be there, everybody. But for other people that want to dig, and that's the whole, and it all really starts, whether you love him, hate him, it's the Pat McAfee effect, okay? And everything is everybody's being able to kind of just see what happens. And let's try something. If it doesn't work, move, try something else.
I put it on Barstool, though, man.
No, you're right.
I think it was Barstool was like, you know what, man? No one talks like that.
Fair point.
I mean, I've done play-by-play forever, and you get on there, and it's a different. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, it's a different audience and all that stuff. But it's like the guys that are the national guys they all sound the same to me now. There's no Howard Cosell's anymore. Yeah, they're just like they just spit out
Keith
their.
Jackson.
Well, right. There's no Keith Jacksons, man. There's no Brett Musburgers anymore. I mean, it's a contest to see who can be more vanilla than the next guy. And then all of a sudden here comes Barstool, and then they're just like, hey, man, we're going to this is how we talk. This is what it sounds like, like you come in the studio and hang out. This is how we talk, right?
It's how regular people talk.
That's
it's what people want to see. They want to relate and be able to identify with regular guys, former athletes, just huge fans for whatever it is. And the thing and I'll agree with you on Barstool. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have some issues with Dave and some stuff otherwise, but ultimately I respect what he's done, and the fact that he was able to sell for I don't know how many freaking $1 million to Penn and then come back and buy his own company for $1. I mean, are you kidding me? That's savage. And then the thing though with McAfee, what he's been able to do is he's been able to parlay that into the ESPN world. That's where he was able to
he made a
cross the
transition
line.
for sure, but they had to because he's got too many fans.
Made that exactly. So it's just, man, we're living in the best time for sports there is. And once everybody gets rid of pulls all the politics and all the other crap out of it that they tried to continue to insert it, and just let it get back to what it is. And because nobody watches it, just like when I go see a concert, I don't care what your political views are. I just want you to play your songs. Just same thing with sports, man. Let's just go out here and play sports, because sports, music, food, bourbon, beer, those things bring people together.
That's right,
they
man.
just do.
That's what I try to do. Honestly, that's what I want on this channel. I just want everybody to feel comfortable, man, like and have a good time. Even when Nicole is taking shots at us on the message board, we're not angry at Nicole. We know that Nicole has had a really bad night. While while you and I were screaming and high-five, I even high-fived the dog. Marcus will tell you that. She was probably getting angry. Yeah.
Hey,
Sorry,
man,
Nicole.
we've been
It's
there
all
though.
good,
That's
man.
what we. Hey, Nicole, girl, it's going to be. Is she a bulldog or a booger?
I think she's a bulldog. Like I'm going to tell you, Nicole, just like I did last time we played
It'll
you
get
guys
better.
in the SEC championship game. The sun's going to shine tomorrow.
Eventually, and look, the Georgia fans need to understand they're new money. Okay, we're old money. All right, old money doesn't rush the field. Old money doesn't, talk trash. I will if you come at me. I'm going to talk trash, but see, I don't talk just friendly trash. I talk chop your head off trash and kick you in the gutter.
Right.
Okay, because we come with like we have the most storied history in college football. And everybody can say what they want, but at the end of the day, you play the game to win championships. And the University of Alabama has more than you can, and all the bugs can say, oh, what about, yeah, make fun of 2 or 3 that we probably could. There's probably 2 or 3 more that we should have had. 66 is the one that stands out the most for me. And if anybody's haven't read the book, it's called The Missing Ring, and it's phenomenal. But the whole thing with is these Georgia fans, they just love. I was over when I was in Atlanta last week after the Auburn game, or before the Auburn game. You got the Georgia fans chirping, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "All right, man, good luck. Just go do it on the field." But new money, they don't know how to handle it, right? And they've done great things. Kirby Smart's my second favorite coach there is. I love Kirby. I love what Kirby
We all
helped
do,
us
man.
build, help coach.
Yeah. You can't not
Right?
like
So
him,
he's
man.
my guy. I like Georgia as a team, but their fans, bro. Oh,
I know.
oh.
I know I know. Like I've heard about them. We don't play them enough. And honestly, I mean, would you guys mind if I was honest? Everybody that's hanging out right now, make sure that you like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber and you're hanging out with us right now, I'm going overtime for you guys. The honest truth is that you don't beat us enough for us to even worry about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not like Auburn. Auburn actually beats us. Like,
yes, they do.
Y'all just like, it's like, you're that, when you guys won that championship, we kind of felt like Kirby was probably going to quit. He was going to get out of the game. He was tired of losing to Nick Saban. And then he got that one and he got the next one. I heard that it was really tough on him losing to Alabama with some great teams. And honestly, like, I loved watching Jalen Hurts run through you guys. I loved watching Tua drop that was it 2nd and 26 to beat you in that championship. It was beautiful, man. I loved it. I loved your commentator couldn't even like say the guy's name when he was like stumbling through the play before that, and then you got stabbed in the heart. I loved the last time in the SEC championship game when you guys were number 1, I guess, and you got rolled over. That was great. And the one when you beat us, like, look, I enjoyed watching you guys drinking Pappy out of the bottle. Like, like, good for you. But you know what? You don't win enough to make us feel like you're a rival to us, man. I mean, I'm just being honest. Auburn, as much as we hate them, is because they win sometimes.
LSU's more of a rival. Tennessee's
LSU beats us. Well, Tennessee, come on, man. They won 1 out of 17.
They're coming. Look, man. Look. I live in Tennessee now. Half of my relatives are Tennessee fans, and I love Knoxville as a city. It's a fun place to go. But if you look at the historical record, all right, Tennessee is the most storied program behind the University of Alabama in the Southeastern Conference. It's just facts, okay? And they're waiting. They're a sleeping giant, just like Texas A&M is about. Eventually, if they can, I think they've got the right coach in there at A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to skew over, but real quick, I think that our rivals are, to me, is Tennessee and LSU kind of right there, and then Georgia's obviously Auburn's number 2. But then after that, you've got Tennessee and LSU because they win. They beat us occasionally. And then Georgia, like you said, they just don't win enough for us to be as concerned as they are about us.
Yeah, right.
They all want what the first Alabama
Yeah, right.
had.
Look, you guys.
But here's the thing.
You guys stole the formula for Coke, but you're still Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're new Coke. They're new Coke.
Yeah. I just think Coke. It's Coke, and then Pepsi's like a big. It's the same thing, but it's not really the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I got a question for you. So, what do you think? Like, did you have a feeling after? I mean, because we get a feeling during games, right? When you're watching them as a fan, and we're both, we love watching film and watching these games and watching the players. We have friends that have actually played the game at a high level, so we get their feedback. And I just had a feeling that Bama was just. They were ready, man. They were ready, and not that Georgia wasn't.
No,
I just don't think that they're to the level of where Bama is.
This is the thing, man. There was this troll named Juggle, 8890, and he got that lump in his throat when when they got that 7-0 lead and the momentum started going the other way. And I just was like, I was watching Juggle's team not block up front. And I'm like, man, Juggle 88-90 is going to have a long night. And he's probably been talking a lot of shit. He's going to have to go back and face those people. And Meat, why don't we do him a favor? Would you pitch in for tickets to the Cheez-It Bowl so we can send him and his family? Would that be fair to do? Yeah, Marcus says he'll throw in too. Juggle, we're going to hook you up, man. The Cheez-It Bowl, we want you to go and enjoy the game, man.
Oh boy, I love some cheeses though. I'm not gonna lie. I like
good,
those
man.
extra toasty ones.
Now, I want Kirby to get the Cheez-It Bowl, like they dump it on that coach's head after the game.
Well, you know as well as I do, though, in the New Year's Eve Bowl.
Juggle can go run up there and scoop all those Cheez-Its up, the ones on the ground. If it's turf, does that count as a 5-second rule? Okay.
Yeah. I'm eating cheeses no matter what. As long as they're not in the shitter, I'm going to eat them.
Oh, man.
So what happens next, right? So you're watching the games, I'm assuming.
I'm watching the game right now. Florida State's going to get passed over. Texas and Alabama are better. They might win this game, and they're going to be playing Liberty in some bowl because they're no good. Honestly, to be honest, and I shouldn't say this because of how rude Juggle's been on the message board, but Georgia probably is one of the 4 best teams even now.
They are. I agree with you.
And that's not for you, Juggle. I'm glad that you're going to be at the Cheez-It Bowl. But I mean, when I look at the forget about the records, not the 4 best deserving teams. I'm talking about the best teams. Alabama and Georgia, that was your national championship game right there. I'm sorry. I mean,
hold on.
That's some meat football, man.
I agree with you. That's grown man football. However, what I saw Washington do today or last night, was it last night? Yeah. Washington's a grown man football team. Okay. I'm just saying those guys play like an SEC team. They just do.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. They're playing Oregon.
I think it's, but Oregon's not horrible, but they're not. But I just think, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm giving them too much credit. I love Penix, man. I love the whole story. I love their team. I've been to Seattle. I've been to that stadium. It's a cool place. But at the end of the day,
do you morons really think you can handle Michigan? Nicole. Come on, Nicole.
Who cares?
Have you seen?
Who cares?
Meat, did you see who they're playing in that Iowa team? That Iowa team in the SEC would have 5 wins.
Man, I don't. And well, they're about to take one to the house. No, they didn't. They're holding their own with Michigan. I mean, I don't know.
What's the score?
I've got some ties to Iowa. I love Iowa. I love people of Iowa. I love the farms. I love the university. It's a really cool place. But no, you're right. I mean, it comes down to schedule and who you're playing day in and day out, week in and week out, I should say. But to me, I think ultimately it's going to be number 1, Michigan, number 2, UW, number 3 is going to be Texas, and number 4 is Bama, if that's the chalk. And then Bama blows out, or Bama beats Michigan, and then it's UW and Bama for the title.
Right.
Bama wins.
Okay. We'll see. I think Texas, if it ends up being Alabama 4 and they play, and I hope they play Michigan, because I'd love to just go ahead and get them out of there. Nicole said she wants to go to the Cheez-It Bowl. Need a vacation. I think the Cheez-It Bowl would be a great vacation. Go down there and get a tan. All the Cheez-Its you could eat. Meat, you love Cheez-Its.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. This is going to be like, I'm watching Florida State right now. They have nothing, but Louisville's pretty bad too. Our 9th place team beat them last week. I mean, is Louisville our 9th place team? I mean, excuse me, Kentucky our 9th place team in the SEC?
Valid point.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Florida State with a 3rd string quarterback, or, I mean, who knows how that's going to turn out.
One thing I want to say, I'm going to let you go here. I
All right,
want
bro.
to say one thing before I get off. I'm looking forward to next weekend, by the way. I'm assuming you'll be there for Bama
Yeah.
with the guys from next round and disrupt the media.
That's the game
We'll be
plan.
down there.
Hey,
Yep,
I'm
we'll be
coming to
there from
Nashville
Thursday.
this week though. So Tuesday to Thursday.
Okay,
But
cool.
for
Well,
baseball
we'll link
winter
up
meetings.
if I can.
Yeah, I'll hit you up on that.
That's awesome. Well, one thing too I'd like to say is Jalen Milroe. I don't know that I've ever seen a quarterback grow up both. Well, the guy's always been a great kid, great family, all the above, but just he is turned in. He's the front runner for the Heisman next year,
Yeah.
number one. And he's just the kid. Just I mean, sure, he didn't have a perfect game. Nobody does, but he just when it's time to make those plays, he ends up making the plays, man. And I'm just so proud and happy for him and what he's doing and the rest of the team. And I'm just looking forward to them and going ahead and taking it home and getting number. What are we up to now? 19. If we win
Be
the
number
next one?
19. We'd have to change out all the helmets again. We get in that if they do what they need to do and put us in, they'll be changing that number again. And honestly, man, I'm ready for some new swag. I need some new swag. You know, I love the logo, and so it's I found like I was trying to find this. I got a Kendall Moorhead jersey from when I was at Bama.
Oh,
and I was
Kendall.
trying, and he had a sack in the Iron Bowl, the first one we ever won down there. And I got his white jersey, and I was going to show Jake Coker, but I couldn't find it. I opened the box though, and I found like this cool 2011 championship pullover, and I was like, oh man, I forgot about that one. So out of date now.
Oh yeah, I got polos. I got all the polos from all the years hanging in the closet. I'll break them out every once in a while. Some of the old school hats I'll break out. People are like, where'd you get that? And I'm like, man, I'm not a bandwagon hat, bro. I've got hats from the 80s, bro.
Right.
You know, and it's in the 90s and the 2000s, even when we were losing. And
Like
it's
when we
just,
were in
is Coker going to be able to come over to Alabama?
Yeah, we're talking about it. Yeah, that's the game plan.
Try to get him over. Yeah,
We're gonna try to do it Friday,
over there,
and you guys come over. I think we're gonna. What we want to do is let the next round do their show, and then us slide in and do our show like right after them. If his schedule can make it happen, I mean that's what I want to do, and then us have them, some of those guys, come on and jump on our show. You know,
he's an insurance guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think he does bank
bank
insurance.
Work.
Don't tell him that. When I'm around him, he's constantly like doing stuff, for work. But I don't know what that is. I know that it would be so much fun for us to, kind of just pop on after that and have those guys in our environment instead of being in their environment. They're a lot more buttoned up than we are.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Different.
No,
it's a different type show. I mean, like they're doing like a. Like it's I watch them every day. Yeah, it's just different style. We're podcasters.
Correct. They're more traditional radio show on a podcast.
Yep. All right, brother. Well, great to hear your voice, man.
Likewise, and we will be seeing you next week. And hey, man, roll tide.
Roll tide.
Keep this thing rolling.
Hey, don't forget too. We're going to be on tomorrow for the selection show reaction.
Awesome. I'll call in if I can.
All right. See you, bro. Bye.
Bye, brother.
All right. That's Meathead right there from Nashville calling in. Let's take a look at some of the numbers from today's game. Kind of lost in the celebration, but statistically pretty even. Bama had 20 first downs. Georgia had 19. Bama was 3 of 13 third down. Georgia was 4 of 12. I mean, it was so close. Both teams were 2 for 2 on fourth down. Bama 306 yards total. Georgia 321. Georgia outpassed Bama 243 to 192. Georgia and Carson Beck 21 of 29 throwing in the game. Jalen Milroe was 13 of 23. 243 for Beck. Milroe had 192 yards, but 2 touchdowns. So he made some of those throws count. And I tell you what, both touchdown throws were a thing of beauty. Rushing, Bama outrushed them 114-78. These two programs are kind of built like exactly the same. You're going to try to stop the other team from running. And I thought that, honestly, I thought both defenses did a nice job of that today. Georgia's had a little bit of an issue this year stopping the run compared to like last year and the year before that. And then not having Chase McClellan, the leading runner for Alabama, their starting running back, but we knew that was a spot that was pretty deep. Jam Miller did a nice job in the game. Roydell Williams did a nice job in the game. Penalties were about even, 5 of 56 for Georgia, 3 of 36 for Alabama, and one turnover. And honestly, one turnover turned into a field goal, and the field goal's difference in the 27-24 game. And that's in a game like this, the way that you expected. I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. Going in that if you turn the ball over, that there's a chance that you might lose the game. Alabama running, Roydell Williams, 16 of 64 and a touchdown. Milroe, 14 carries, 29 yards. Georgia really sold out to stop him from being able to run the ball. And I'll be honest, I think that he may be a little bit slowed right now. He didn't have the burst that he did against LSU. Jam Miller, 9 carries, 23 yards in the game. We talked about Isaiah Bond, the leading receiver. 5 of 79. He made that great diving catch on 4th down to set up the touchdown at the end of the first half. Jam Miller, 1 of 28. His catch was a touchdown, beautifully designed play that came out of the backfield. Jermaine Burton caught a touchdown against his former team. 2 catches, 28 yards, a great cut touchdown. He almost had another one. Kobe Prentice had a catch for 19 yards. Amari Nyblack, a catch for 17 yards. C.J. Dupree had a catch for 12 yards. Roydell Williams, the running back, had a catch as well. And then Kendrick Law had one but didn't get any yards. Tresman Marshall, Georgia transfer. Fumble recovery in the game. And you talk about him and Burton, 2 guys that transferred from Georgia to have big plays in this game. It meant a lot to them, and kind of how things turned out today. Michigan, 7:16 to go in the first half, leads Iowa 10-0. So that one's a little closer than I thought. And then 7:43 in the second half, Florida State with the football and a 3-0 lead over Louisville. If you get Florida State out of the way, I think it's going to be a much easier day for Alabama tomorrow because that's basically the way that things are going to come down. Is the committee's going to have to figure out how this is all going to work, and basically Georgia's out for losing, even though I think they're one of the 4 best teams, but they didn't win the conference. And that is a big qualifier. Okay. Washington won last night. They're undefeated. I'm putting them in. There's no chance Iowa's going to beat Michigan. They're going to get in. Texas and Alabama both won. Bama beat Georgia, who had won 29 straight games and was number 1 in the country. It's the best win of the year. And then, Texas beat, a pedestrian Oklahoma State team today. So you're going to have to decide about those 2. And then what you do with Florida State as that game kind of grinds boringly along on, tonight. So it could come down to those 4 if somehow Louisville wins that game, then, I think that, Florida, that makes it easy. Then Texas, Alabama, Michigan, and Washington are in, and then you just move on from there. So, but look, man, my final thoughts, and it's really been great having all you guys on, is college football is fun because you only really are allowed to keep the same team for 4 years, and every team is so different. It's not like in the NFL where you have the same, you could have the same roster forever if you wanted to pay those guys, right? In college, it's like, 4 years. Well, Alabama has gotten so good, and the players that Nick Saban has brought in normally leads to 3 years and the best players leave. And then, last year, Bama lost Bryce Young, Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 in the draft. Will Anderson Jr., one of their best defenders ever, number 3 in the draft. They lost their coordinators, offense and defense. This was such a different team this year, and there were so many things that they had to figure out. And we didn't know how the season was going to go. We just didn't. And eventually it came down to, barely getting by after losing to Texas, South Florida. And here comes Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, and he's trolling the hell out of us. Who's calling the defense? Is it T-Rob or is it Kevin Steele? And, I'm going to put a video on my Twitter of dynasties dying, and they led in the first half, and then this team found a way to win the second half of that game. And it was so close. Like Nicole, I'm telling you, it felt like it was right here. That close, right? That close to maybe the dynasty is over. Maybe this is it. Maybe Saban's not getting through to these guys. Maybe his message is being ignored. Maybe the fact that they have 5 stars and 4 stars and he's still the greatest coach of all times. Maybe he's just not getting through to these players anymore. Maybe it's over. And then the second half of that game, they rose up. And then you got to go play at Texas A&M. And Jimbo Fisher has been locked in on beating Alabama. They beat the Tide there last time. Still hadn't quite figured it out. Milroe looked hurt. Vegas thought he wasn't going to play. And then they went in there. They dominated the game. They won. They didn't dominate on the scoreboard, but they physically dominated. They looked great. They just made mistakes. And then after that, you could just feel it, man. It was coming together. Milroe bought into what Coach Saban was saying. Apparently, he had gotten suspended, and that's why he didn't play in that game against South Florida. And instead of pouting, he was on the sideline helping his team and cheering them on. And then when he got back in there, he was locked in, and he got better every single week. And he won us all over, our fan base, because we weren't sure, Nicole, what was going to happen. We thought, people like you that are like kind of naysayers to this dynasty, and you're sick of seeing Alabama win championship after championship after championship, whether it be SEC championships, which I think is 9 in a row now, or whatever it is, and then national championships. And you don't want to see those helmet stickers switch from 13 to 14 to 15. That's what we do when we win a championship. We just change the helmet sticker, right? And I'm sure you can count. And when we're kind of closing in on 19 now, and we're like, well, there's just no way, right? And we had this tradition, like every signing class at Alabama got a championship ring of some sort, right? But would that be over? And then we lost our defensive coordinator to Georgia, and it's built a great mirror program in Athens, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And then we started to get on a roll. And then we started to wear out the opponents. And that was like, okay, we're doing this. And honestly, going into the Iron Bowl, which is against a team called Auburn that we actually do lose to a lot, at least for us, which is, I think like 5 times and since 2008. No, maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's 4, but that's a lot for us. Not like when we play Georgia and, it's like 1 every 20 years or something. And so we go in there and it gets down to the end of the game, and we put ourselves in this situation that's impossible, right? Nicole, we had the ball, and you're not going to believe this. We had the ball 4th down and goal from the 31. With like 40 seconds left. And our quarterback threw a touchdown. You believe this? A touchdown pass, and we won the game. And then that led us into the game against Georgia. in the SEC championship game, which we probably ought to call it the Nick Saban SEC championship game, because he's won so many of these. I mean, he's got rings for every finger and all that. But Georgia, you guys had, Nicole, your team had gotten so good, and you guys won last year against LSU, and had 29 straight wins, and you were a 6.5 point favorite. No one gave Alabama a shot. And you see the score there, 27-24. So, look, it was a great game. It was a great season. And all I can say is that I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. I think all of you guys are as well. Nicole, I appreciate you coming on and Juggle coming on, and all you guys coming on and making this a little bit more enjoyable tonight. It's like when you go to the carnival and you pay like $3 and you get those balls, and then you throw them, and that you got to hit the little thing. And then if you do, the clown falls into the water tank. Yeah, it's like when so I was thinking about this. I heard Jimmy Buffett talking about this. This is true for me too. Like, my first pet was a pet fish, and I won it at the carnival. Like you had the little ball with the ping pong ball, and you throw it in there. So you guys have kind of made it a little bit more enjoyable for us tonight. But all of you guys that have hung out with us on the channel, appreciate you so much. Make sure that you subscribe and you're a part of what we're doing. It was a great night. And let me get to these super chats. I'm not going anywhere until I get to your super chats, and I can't thank you guys enough. All right. Eva Cody 124. So if FSU wins, U of M would be number 1, meaning no Pac-12 or Big Ten Rose Bowl game. I'm sad that we'll never see that again. And here it is again. So either way, the Big Ten versus Pac-12 Rose Bowl won't happen again. I think you're kind of like I am, that you're like a college football, like you enjoy the pageantry of it. And it is, those games have really been cool, like Penn State against Washington, or USC against Michigan, or Ohio State. I guess with the playoff that's done. I mean, it has to be, I guess. And I'm kind of hoping that it's, that Alabama's in that game against Michigan. That's the matchup that I think that the country would like. I think if you're trying to like sell tickets and generate excitement, that's the matchup. But, going back to the end of the bowl era, and even this game tonight, this SEC championship game, these could be a thing of the past, because why would, now that you're gonna, after this year you go to 12 teams, why even play the damn thing? Because you're not playing yourself in, you're playing yourself out, and that doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, thank you for the super chat. I'm with you. I think it is sad. I don't think it's going to happen anymore, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it will. It's not something that I've done a lot of research on, but what I will say is that I feel like the bowls themselves are a thing of the past. I mean, we haven't gotten there yet, but with all the opt-outs and everything else, I just don't know that it's ever going to be like it once was, kind of the way that we grew up watching, college football. So anyway, thank you guys all for hanging out. Make sure that if you're not part of what we're doing here, that you share with your Bama friends, and roll Tide. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to be on here for the selection show, and we'll figure out what's going to happen. And hopefully it'll be pretty clear that Bama's in, but we'll be here to have a reaction one way or the other. And again, roll Tide, everybody. Also, newlifeart.com with the code Bama Tailgate right there. You get 25% off your order right now. So use that, take advantage of that, be a part of what's going on. There's a new Daniel Moore print coming out from last game. I don't know if he's going to do one from this game. The Mill Road play, though, from last game is getting one. And there's a lot of also really cool stuff there. I've got my studio really just accented in it, and I love it. So Daniel Moore's the best in the business, and I'm so glad that they're a part of what we do. So James, roll tide to you, my friend. Thank you. And thank you to all of you guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Roll tide, everybody.